Hey, what is going on guys, it's Dan here and welcome to my review of No Game No Life. Like always, I'm going to start with the positives of this series, and just before I get into these positives, I want to encourage you to watch this series because it's so fucking good. If you haven't seen this series yet, it's one of those things that you have to see to really appreciate like the art style of it, how good it is, the story, everything about this series is pretty much amazing to me personally. So the good things, first thing that I'm going to talk about is the story of it quickly. So it's pretty much about these two badass game nerds who are pretty much like the best at any game in the world. They can play from Monopoly to FPS fucking Call of Duty and be the best fucking players in the world, and the type of people with loads of monitors. So the main characters are Sora and Shiro. These two are siblings, brother and sister, Sora being the brother and Shiro being the sister. So Sora is about 17 years old and Shiro is about, I'd say 13, 14 if I can remember correctly. And I'm just going to say this now, that this series has a tiny bit of fan service. It doesn't have a lot of fan service like, I don't know, High School DxD, High School of the Dead. It doesn't have that much fan service of course, but there is some little things that you will notice throughout it where it's like, oh okay. So Sora and Shiro basically hate the real world. They want to be inside a game world. They fucking hate the real world so much that they want to just quit out of it. They think it's terrible. They don't like anything about it. So Sora and Shiro, they get emailed about a magical world where all the rules are decided by games and stuff like that. So I'll get into that in a second, but they get thrown into this world literally from the sky. Like they're flying down, and this opening scene brings you into the series so much. It's so colourful and it looks really, really good. The art style is some of the best that I've ever seen in my life. And they meet this god called Tet, and Tet tells them about all the rules, what they should and shouldn't do, how everything is decided by a game. Even the king of the whole land is decided by, I don't know, a game of cards or, you know, a game of Monopoly. I mean, they don't play Monopoly in the series, that's just made up from me, but everything is decided from little card games, you know, stuff like that, chess, stuff like that. So that is the first positive that I'd like to get into. So that was the story. So the story is a really interesting one, and I've just gone through the whole thing, the whole start of the story then basically, and it's really interesting. I think it's more interesting than Parasite, and Parasite was definitely one of my favourite series of last year. So yeah, the first positive is the story. Number two, the music. Like always in almost every anime series, it has to have good music for me to enjoy it, and this series delivers. It has really, really good music. Especially the opening song is really, really good. I definitely recommend anybody to check out the music. Even before you check out the series, go watch the opening song to see if you like the art style, because the opening song does really show the art style and the theme of it. So the third positive that I'm going to mention, and if you've seen this series you'll know what I'm talking about, and that is episode 6. Episode 6. The best anime episode that I've ever seen in my life is episode 6 of No Game No Life. Seriously, it's fucking good. How smart, it really, really shows how smart, how diabolical and how crazy Sora and Shiro are together. When they put their minds together, they can pretty much do anything, because if you watch, I'm going to put it in the bottom right corner, episode 6 of one of the craziest scenes ever. I wish I could make it bigger, but I can't because copyright issues and blah blah blah, but how smart they are is crazy, and it really gives you a theme for the show. And I can't really say much about this episode, is that you just need to watch the series up to this episode before you decide to quit it. That's really what you need to do. If you quit it after, say, the third episode, don't. Watch till episode 6, watch after episode 6 should I say, and then decide to quit it, because if this episode doesn't determine whether you watch it or not, then, you know, you're really not going to like it. The fourth positive that I'm going to mention is the art style. The art style looks really good, and the colours, they might throw you off a little bit, but it depends what you really like. But I really like the colours in this anime. It looked amazing. I'm going to show you some of the best scenes in the bottom right corner, but the art style, it looks so good. I can't tell you this enough, that the art style is definitely one of the best in any anime I've ever seen. The colours shine bright, they come out so much. This anime is not about dark colours at all. This is about the bright colours. They'll come out, they'll shine you in the face. I'm not really sure what to call this art style, to be honest, but it looks really, really good. So if you're not a fan of like bright, colourful things, then you're not going to enjoy this anime, because it's in pretty much every episode and you're not going to miss it. Okay, so now let's get into the negatives. So like the 4 positives, I'm going to have 4 negatives, hopefully. I'm going to save the the worst negative for last. So if you didn't know, that No Game No Life is a short 12 episode series, and right there, that might throw people off a lot. There's hardly any character development. I mean, Sora and Shiro get their own little character development every now and again, but even the side characters, they don't get any character development, barely. I can't even remember where most of the side characters even come from, what they do, because they don't get enough development for me. I mean, of course I can understand that you can't fit a lot of development in 12 episodes, you know, to be fair, that is kind of true, but I wish there was a little bit more. But it's just one of those things that it doesn't really bother me that much, but it did kind of get on my nerves a little bit. So the second thing that I did mention before is the colours. So the colours might throw you off the series, and this is a thing that I've seen a lot on forums, that colours have thrown people off the series a lot. And if you like dark animes like Death Note, for example, you're really not going to like No Game No Life, because of the change of pace, the change of colours, the change of pretty much everything. Because this series tries to keep you happy, even though it does get a little bit sad at some points. It does try to keep you happy, and it's definitely a fun series. So yeah, that was the second negative of the colours. The last negative that I'm going to mention is fucking annoying. Okay, so the third negative and the last negative, I know I said there was going to be 4, but there's not. I mean, I can't think of another negative, so there's no season 2. This annoyed me so fucking much. And it looks like there's never going to be a season 2 because the owner of No Game No Life was caught sketching other animes, so he's pretty much... That right there is pretty much confirmed there's no season 2, and it really annoys me because this anime deserves a season 2. It did really well in Japan, and it did really well outside of Japan, so why is there no season 2? If the owner or the directors of No Game No Life ever watch this, please make a season 2. I would give happily my life for season 2. Just so other people enjoy its humour, its art style, its colours, its theme, its story. I just wish there was a season 2, that would have made my life so much more happier, and I would definitely review it instantly. Anyway guys, overall the series is great. I can recommend it to almost everybody. Almost all types of anime watchers would enjoy this series, except for dark watchers. No racism there intended, of course. I mean dark watchers as in people who watch Death Note. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and enjoy your day. I'm out. Peace.